എന്റെ ലാസിക്കായി ശസ്ത്രക്രിയയ്ക്ക് ഇപ്പോൾ 1 വർഷമായി. കോണ്ടാക്ട് ലെൻസ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരുന്ന കാലത്തേതിന് സമാനമാണ് എന്റെ കാഴ്ചശക്തി, പക്ഷേ നിരവധി പോരായ്മകളുണ്ട്.
In the world of roaring engines and shattered steel, Cody Detwiler lived a life built on chaos. For years, he walked through a storm of destruction so loud that it drowned out everything else. But long before millions watched him tear through supercars, flip futuristic machines, or walk away from explosions that should have ended everything, there was a single moment where the noise finally stopped. An impact so sudden and so violent that even he wondered if the cameras would continue without him. It became the scar he carries today, a quiet warning etched across his forehead. But that moment wasn't his beginning or his end. It was simply the first crack in a much deeper story. Because behind the jokes, the stunts, and the legend of WhistlinDiesel lies a life shaped by isolation, firestorms, silent fears, and a chase for authenticity that pushed him closer to the edge than most people ever realize. And as the scars healed, the stakes only grew. But before the fire, the rollover, and the ricochet that nearly took everything, there was just a quiet boy in the middle of nowhere, searching for something louder than the silence he was born into. Cody Detwiler's childhood in rural Indiana was defined by wide fields, relentless labor, and machinery that growled louder than any city street. His family's farm equipment business surrounded him with diesel engines, tools, and machines built for work, not luxury. As a kid, he wasn't watching cartoons. He was studying how metal bends, how engines breathe, and how vehicles behave right before they fail. This upbringing created a rare personality, someone who understood danger intimately, yet viewed it as a puzzle instead of a threat. It also bred independence. Out in those fields, there was no audience cheering him on, just the hum of a tractor and a boy who believed any obstacle could be conquered with enough force. Teachers saw a student who didn't fit the mold. Neighbors saw a kid who worked harder than his age suggested. And beneath all of this, there was a growing tension. He wanted something bigger, louder, and more unpredictable than anything that small town could offer. What no one knew then was that this hunger would eventually lead him into a world where danger wasn't avoided, it was engineered. And the moment he picked up a camera, the quiet life he knew began to transform. When Cody uploaded his first videos, nothing about them predicted fame. The lighting was harsh, the audio raw, the scenes chaotic. But what they lacked in polish, they delivered in truth. People didn't just watch his videos, they felt them. A truck wasn't a prop, it was a character. A field wasn't a backdrop, it was his testing ground. The early destruction wasn't random chaos, it was a language born from his upbringing. And viewers connected with that honesty instantly. He wasn't pretending, he was living the life he showed. As his subscriber count exploded, so did the expectations. Each stunt had to get bigger. Each idea had to be wilder. It wasn't the pursuit of shock value, it was simply how his mind worked. What if became his lifestyle? Why not became the spark that fueled him? But with every new milestone, the pressure grew heavier. Fame didn't give him rest, it gave him responsibility. People wanted the next impossible feat. They expected him to break the rules he'd already broken. And the moment he set out to surpass himself, the danger found its way back to him in the most brutal way imaginable. His rise hid a truth he rarely admitted. He thought he was untouchable. Years of lucky escapes and daring tests built an illusion of invincibility. Until the winter afternoon when physics decided otherwise. The setup seemed simple. A .50 caliber round fired at a steel plate from just 4 feet away. He had done similar experiments before, but never at a distance this tight. Experts warn against such proximity. He didn't. When he fired the round, the world shifted in an instant. Instead of piercing the plate, the projectile shattered, sending a fragment back toward him at terrifying speed. It struck his forehead with a force that dropped him immediately. Blood poured down his face as everything went quiet. He was unconscious, still, frighteningly still. In the hospital, doctors revealed the truth. The injury wasn't a scrape. It was a skull fracture that missed catastrophe by inches. The scar became permanent, a reminder carved into his skin. When he uploaded the footage weeks later, the internet exploded. Some viewers were horrified. Others were convinced it was staged. But the medical records, the stitches, and the sheer impact told a different story. This was real. This was a warning. And yet, even with that shock, something inside him refused to retreat. Because the next time danger came, it didn't come in a fragment of metal. It came as fire. By 2023, Cody had moved far beyond tractors and trucks. He was tearing through fields in machines worth more than most houses. The Ferrari F8 Tributo was supposed to be his grand statement, a sign that the world of vehicles he disrupted now belonged entirely to him. But Texas heat has a way of rewriting plans. The field he drove into was bone dry, a bed of tinder waiting for a spark. The Ferrari's exhaust, pushing temperatures above 1,000 degrees, created the perfect trigger. As he drifted through the brittle stalks, trails of smoke appeared. Then flames. He bailed as fire swallowed the undercarriage. The support van caught fire too, exploding in a burst of tools and fuel. 10 acres burned before firefighters contained the blaze. Online reactions split immediately. Fans defended him. Critics condemned him. Some celebrated the dramatic spectacle. Others feared how easily the stunt could have turned into a tragedy. But behind the hashtags and debates was something quieter. The fire revealed how close to the edge he truly was. Close enough that even he felt the heat long after the flames died out. But the danger waiting ahead wasn't about heat, it was about gravity. June 2025 was supposed to be a celebration, a crossover with massive streamers, and a test of Tesla's futuristic engineering. The Cybertruck was built to survive almost anything. Almost. As Cody approached a house-sized boulder, no one watching realized they were witnessing the start of a moment that would shake everyone involved. When the truck crested the rock, the undercarriage snagged. Momentum shifted. 6,000 pounds of metal lifted, tilted, and rolled. Dust clouded the air. Inside were Aiden Ross, Rampage Jackson, and Cody himself. When the truck slammed back down, silence hung in the air before bodies emerged, bruised and dazed. A sprained wrist, bruised ribs, cuts, shock, and a realization that everything could have gone much worse. Photos of the group praying together afterward spread instantly. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was a wake-up call. And then came the aftermath. The repair bill soared beyond $100,000. Tesla refused to cover it. Online discussions erupted. Some whispered about legal drama. Others speculated on tension among the crew. But the crash revealed something deeper, something fans had suspected for years. The accidents people knew about were only the ones they saw. Because behind the scenes, there were incidents that never made it to the channel. In 2022, a Ram 1500 stunt went wrong. A tire explosion sent Cody flying. His sprained ankle was real, but the full impact of the event remained unspoken. In 2023, an alleged demo involving controlled explosives misfired, injuring a crew member. Cody reportedly covered the medical bills quietly. Fans later pieced fragments of the incident together online. What these hidden moments revealed was a pattern, not of carelessness, but of escalation. Each video required something bigger than the last. The pressure to top himself became a silent force behind the scenes. And while viewers saw entertainment, his team saw the strain. They saw the speed at which the line was disappearing beneath his feet. The chaos wasn't accidental. It was fueled by momentum, expectations, and a creator trying to elevate a genre no one else dared to touch. But another force was rising in the background, one far more powerful than any engine he'd ever tested. It was the force of business. As Cody's fame grew, the destruction wasn't just thrilling, it was profitable. Viral chaos became currency. Each outrageous moment meant more views and more opportunity. And then came the turning point. He signed with CAA, one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood. That moment transformed everything. He wasn't just a YouTuber anymore, he was a brand. With agents, contracts, and corporate expectations came a new kind of pressure. Not the adrenaline rush of stunts, but the weight of business. The need to escalate. The need to outperform. Psychologists call it sensation-seeking, the pursuit of the next rush even as the risks climb higher. And YouTube's algorithm only amplified it. His biggest spikes in subscribers often followed near disasters. overnight surges, global headlines, viral fascination. Whether consciously or not, the stakes kept rising. But amid all the noise and influence surrounding him, something more personal began to shift, something the world rarely saw. Because each scar, each fire, each rollover left marks deeper than skin. The bravado stayed, the humor stayed, but the quiet moments told a different story. Survival changes a person. It changes the way they think, the way they approach danger, and the way they understand their own limits. The scar from the ricochet became more than a reminder. It became a part of his identity. His donation to firearms safety nonprofits was understated yet meaningful. His decision to bring safety consultants into future projects wasn't a retreat, it was evolution. The fires, the crashes, the pressure from agencies didn't break him, they reshaped him. His message shifted. Safer chaos, as he called it, was a new philosophy. A recognition that millions were watching, and the stakes were no longer his alone. He still pushes limits, he still tests boundaries. But the man behind the destruction is no longer the fearless boy from Indiana. He's older now, wiser, more aware of the thin line he walks. And as whispers of a massive 2026 project circulate, fans wonder if it will be his wildest chapter yet, or the first one built with a different purpose. Because ultimately, Cody Detwiler's story isn't about destruction. It's about the line between embracing danger and surviving it. It's about a kid from Indiana who built an empire out of metal and adrenaline, then learned the cost of that empire one scar at a time. And in a world where viral moments fade fast, one truth endures. For Cody, survival wasn't the end of the story, it was only the beginning.